Okay, let's talk about our guitars and our parts of our guitars. Today I'm going to start off with an acoustic guitar. Now this acoustic guitar also happens to be an electric, but we're going to get into that here in a moment. Now the parts of our guitar, for acoustic and electrics, they're pretty much named the same thing. This part here at the top is called our head, or our headstock. You're going to notice that they come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, but they all pretty much have the same function. The guitars we're going to be talking about in this course are all 6-string guitars, but you probably noticed that there's 12-string guitars, and you'll probably see that 4-string guitars, which are more commonly referred to as bass guitars, which have a lot lower notes. So we have our tuners. I'm sure you've figured that out by now. We have 6 strings. Coming over here, this little part here coming off of the headstock, this is called a nut, where our strings are going to bridge over that, come down this area. This part here of our guitar is called a neck. Now, the front part of our neck of our guitar, you'll see we have this area here. This is called a fingerboard, or it is also referred to as a fretboard, because you're going to notice that we have these rectangled areas that go up the neck, and these are called frets. So we come down here and it ends up to the body of the guitar. The top part of our acoustic guitars here, this is called a soundboard. Now, on our acoustic guitars, we have a hole right here, and that is called the sound hole. Now, there's some acoustic guitars that will maybe have different shaped sound holes, or maybe some smaller sound holes off the side of the guitar, but more commonly, it's right here in the center of the guitar. Now, below the sound hole, and it's hard to tell on this guitar because this guitar is black, but there is this black plastic piece, and this is called a pick guard, or a scratch plate, because when you're strumming your guitar, sometimes you can scratch your guitar. Now, I do have some guitars that don't have that as well, and they do get scratched up. So this kind of helps protect your guitar a little bit. So the strings come down over here and end at this portion of our guitar, and this is called the bridge. Now, how an acoustic guitar works is acoustics are the physics of sound. So the string vibrates and goes into the sound hole and goes into the body of the guitar, bounces around inside there, and projects out the sound hole. Uses the science of sound called acoustics, and that's why they're called an acoustic guitar. Okay, now I have an electric guitar, and the parts of it are pretty much called the same thing as the acoustic guitar. You're going to notice that the headstock on this particular model is a lot different than what we had on the acoustic guitar, and you're going to notice all the tuners are on one side of the headstock. They function the same way, it's just design. And this particular model of electric guitar is referred to as a Stratocaster, or for short we call them Strats. This particular guitar was made by the Fender company. They were the actual inventor of the Stratocaster, but you're going to notice that there is a lot of other brands out there that make a very similar model and function of electric guitar. So once again, we have the head, or the headstock, the nut. Coming down, we have the neck of the guitar, we have the fretboard. One of the things I did want to point out to you, that on our fretboard, we have dots. Some guitars may have squares or dots or other kind of designs every so often on the frets, and these are position markers. Now, later on, when you get more advanced in your guitar playing, those are going to come in handy because they're going to show you the different positions that you can play chords and scales at, and they serve as sort of landmarks on our guitar. But for this course, we're going to be concentrating pretty much in this first 3 fret area, which is referred to as the first position. So moving on, we have the body of the guitar. Now this body of this electric guitar is solid. It's a solid piece of wood. Now our acoustics are hollow, so the sound can bounce around inside the guitar and project out the sound hole. Now, not all electric guitars are solid. There's quite a few models out there that are hollow, and they're really used for a lot of jazz playing, also a lot of rock as well. It gives you, and blues, it gives you a little bit more sustain with a hollow guitar, but the solid body is very commonly used electric guitar format. Now, coming down here, you're going to notice here at the end of our strings, we have a bridge. And the bridge on an electric guitar more commonly is metal. And it helps supply a lot more sustain on our strings. Now, this particular model has a handle that is attached to the bridge of the guitar, and its function, it's called a whammy bar. And what it does is you can bend notes and chords and also add vibrato to it as well. They're a lot of fun. Now, acoustic and electric guitars, the notes, the chords are all the same. If you can play an acoustic guitar, you can play an electric guitar and vice versa. They just use two different principles of science on how they produce sound. Now, you see on the front part of this guitar, we have these things. These are called pickups, and that is what their function is. They pick up the vibration of the string and turn it into basically an electrical impulse. What these are magnets, and the magnet picks up the vibration of the string, turns it into an electrical impulse, goes through the wires and circuitry of the guitar, through the cord into the speaker, which we call an amplifier. Now, the amplifier inside of it has a paper cone, a speaker, that has a magnet attached to it as well. So what happens is the electrical impulse picks up from this magnet, goes through the cord, and vibrates the other magnet. Now, the more power that you give it, the more the magnet vibrates and shakes the paper cone, and that's how an amplifier works. And you'll need to have one of those if you're playing electric guitar, or you're really not going to be able to hear what you're playing. Now, this particular model of electric guitar, we have these knobs, and this particular one has one volume knob and two tone controls. There are some electric guitars that have two separate volume knobs and two control knobs, or tone control knobs. Now, the volume knob does exactly what it says it does. I can turn that down, it turns down the volume, and turn it up, and it turns up the volume. You can control your volume if you want more or less of it by just your control knob instead of having to go over to your amplifier. Now, these knobs here are tone controls, and what they do is they shape the tone of what the certain pickups supply tone to, and you can control whether you get more of a darker tone or a brighter tone by just working with your tone controls. Now here we have a switch, and this is called a pickup selector. And what it does is, if I have my switch all the way up in the up position, it turns on this pickup, which we refer to as the neck pickup. Now, a neck pickup has sort of a darker, mellower sound. It's really good for playing rhythm guitar and more cleaner tones. Now, if I select it to the next section, it makes a combination of the bridge, the neck pickup and the middle pickup. So it brightens it up. Now in the middle here, it is a combination of, it depends on how your guitar is wired. Some guitars will have the bridge, or the neck and the bridge pickup at the same time, or some have all three. So you get more of a fuller sound. You're getting the darker sounds of the neck pickup, and you're getting brighter tones of the bridge pickup. The next position, it's a combination of the middle pickup and the bridge pickup. And you're noticing as the pickups go toward the bridge, they're getting brighter and brighter. And all the way down, I have the bridge pickup. The bridge pickup is good for playing a lot of lead guitar kind of things, or if you're looking for some really bright sounds in your rhythm playing. So that is how an electric guitar works. Now, the physics of a guitar here, you notice that, I'm sure by messing with your guitars, you've discovered that as you're going up the neck, the notes get higher. And as you go down the neck toward the headstock, the notes get lower. And what we have is our nut and our bridge. We have a point A and point B. The string vibrates at a certain frequency, and that is the note. And as we go up the frets, we shorten the distance between A and B, and the note or the string will vibrate faster and faster. And that is a real quick physics lesson on how the notes work on a guitar. So that's the parts of our guitar, the difference between acoustics and electrics. And next we're going to start by learning how to tune our guitars. Hello and welcome to Introduction to Guitar, a course designed for beginners. This course is packed with lessons using video examples. In this course, you will learn major, minor, and dominant chords. You will work on chord progressions to begin to build your skills. You will learn 12-bar blues and how to read tab. And you will also learn power chords for playing rock guitar. Along with the video examples, there are PDFs that you can print and jam tracks to practice with. So grab your guitar and let's get started for an introduction to guitar.